Welcome to EXO, Your Unlicensed Therapist, the podcast where we deep dive into the chaos of being a human. I'm Kate, your unlicensed therapist. Emphasis on the unlicensed part. I'm just a girl, not a real therapist. This is the place where we talk breakdowns, breakthroughs, and pretty much everything in between. Now, if you've ever cried in the basement of a dingy dive bar, trauma dumped on ChatGPT, or spiraled over your bank statement, congrats. You're exactly where you belong.
Let us know when it has begun. Oh my God, we've already been recording. Obsessed. The beaches of all of us being crazy and being like,
we are literally mice talking a million miles.
We're like little rat girls.
Yep, literally. Quite
well,
literally.
Bella DeNapoli, welcome to EXO, Your Unlicensed Therapist.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited you're here.
I'm so excited.
We talked about this. We did a show at 54 Below, and Bella was like, Bella and I have been friends for like, I want to say almost a year. You were just postpartum, I think.
It's almost a year.
Almost a year.
August,
Rory's almost a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw up.
Bella has a baby. She's perfect. We're gonna talk about all of these things about baby. You might know Bella from the NBC's The Voice. She was on Ariana Grande's team. And that's how I knew who you were. We did a class together. I guess we should do like the meet cute. We were in a class together and Bella was like, first of all, it's been like 2-3 years since you did the show, and you were sitting in the back of the classroom, like at the corner, and then she like gets up to sing, and she sang the song that she auditioned for The Voice with, and which was, what is it called?
Damaged.
Danity
Kane.
But yeah, well, yes, and I remember I was sitting there, and I was like, why do I know that voice? Because you have such a beautiful, specific tone, like it's so specific to you, and I remember sitting there being like,
that is so nice.
Who is that? And then I think the guy that we were taking the class from mentioned, and I said, oh my God, well, yes, the videos that have been playing on my phone for years. And I say it every time I see you, that duet you did with, what's her name?
Katie Ray.
Katie Ray. I actually think about it. It's my Roman Empire. I think about it like at least once or twice a week, at least. But welcome. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. You are everything I want to be and more in a human being.
No, you're
and
everything I want to be. Like, you are like a mom influencer and also like our performer, and you're like figuring it out, like how to be a mom and how to do the thing that you love. It's like so inspirational. Like, it's so cool what you do.
Thank
you do it with such grace, and like you're so calm, even though I'm sure inside it's like.
I was just going to say, that's so nice that that's what it looks like. But actually, it's like a million miles a minute. I actually said last night to my fiance, I said, I don't remember the last time like I was able to actually just sit down and not think about anything.
Oh no.
Like even when I'm watching a TV show, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, wait, but look at their acting in this, or oh my gosh, wait, what about this? What about this? Oh crap, I have to go do the dishes. Oh my gosh, the baby's crying. Like,
yeah,
no
literally.
joke. But I'm sitting there like this.
But that's what's happening
Still.
inside your brain. Do you have ADD? Because I think I do.
I definitely do.
I don't think
I'm
I
not
have
diagnosed,
ADHD.
but I definitely do.
I'm not diagnosed either, but I most certainly do.
I am self-diagnosed.
Well, yeah.
We just self-diagnosed.
We just self-diagnosed. I mean, this is the unlicensed therapist office, but we are
You're right.
unlicensed. So, and we just diagnosed ourselves.
Done. Period.
Okay, so first of all, if you want to like start by just introducing yourself, I gave a little bit of like a highlight reel of like what I perceive to be Bella DeNapoli, but I want to know a little bit more about you. Like, tell me a little bit about like your mental health growing up in your house. Like, what was that like? Like, this whole podcast is about like mental health and, you know, staying sane in our 20s and trying to get our shit together, for lack of a better word. So just like
sure.
Give me like an intro to like you, how you grew up. Like, was mental health something you talked about in your house? Like, tell me everything.
Okay. Done. So I would say that I have always been the type of person that is an introvert extrovert. But when you meet me, it's like, oh, she's an extrovert to the max. But I actually come from a place of like my parents when I was younger and in home videos, like I was an introvert at heart. Like until
Really?
I was probably like able to, I don't know, like maybe 5th grade or something like that is when I started singing, is when I broke out of my shell. But in home videos, like my sister was always the one that was like, let's put on a show. My brother was like running around in millions of circles. He actually is diagnosed with ADHD. So we love that. And he's the best person in the whole world. So he like would be running around in circles and then I would literally be just sitting there. So growing up, I would say, okay, I'm going to start here. I came from a family that is, all of us are best friends.
Love it.
My parents are the best people in the whole world. We're all also in the music industry.
That's so great.
So growing up, I was surrounded by music and surrounded by performing. My dad first, and then my mom joined him. But my dad grew up with music as his outlet.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit about him is that when he was younger, he had like hip problems and had to get like double hip surgery at like the age of like 12. So he went through so much, and that was like back in the day because he's almost 60.
Oh my God.
And everyone around him played sports and did all these things. And like, I can't imagine back in the day too, how it was different with not being so knowledgeable about all these different things. So he struggled in school with like making friends and doing all this stuff, but music was his outlet. So he told me he used to like teach himself guitar in his basement and like sing all these songs in his basement. And then finally, when he got to high school, he kind of like broke out of that puberty phase and like grew up and joined a band.
Oh my God.
And then from there, he like completely gained his confidence, completely like just shoot for the stars. And he's been in a band ever since. So hi, young Bella was always around band culture and like rock music, country music, pop, rock and roll, like anything you can dream of. They had that blasting in my house, whether they were playing it or not. And then my mom is also a singer, and she is an extrovert, like to the max. She wears her heart on her sleeve, will give you it all and also take it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
So I think I got that a lot from my mom. And then I got the more introverted part from my dad.
Got it. So like a perfect blend of the two.
Yeah. But from the outside, I come off like that extrovert type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, my sister is actually also in the industry, was in the Broadway industry actually. And that's how I got introduced to this. I love her so much.
Oh my God. That was going to be one of my questions, because like obviously like music is such a big cornerstone of who you are.
Yeah.
But we met through a theater lens. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so interesting. That's how you got introduced to it.
Yeah. So full circle back, I come from an unbelievably close family. We're all best friends. And I've been so supported by my family, which is why I think I am the person that I am, and the reason why I'm able to pursue my dreams today, because of that support and unconditional love. And my parents really opened up the floor to all of my siblings, and including myself, of like, the sky's the limit, and do what it will make you happy. And don't think about like, oh, this is just a job. Think about it as, no, this is my career, and this is what makes me me, and this is my life.
Totally. I 100%. I love that. That's great parenting. You can tell them I said that.
I definitely.
The unlicensed therapist says great parenting.
Check.
Because that's like great. Like, do you think that like in that, obviously like with mental health, like at that, for them of that age demographic, that generation, it wasn't something that was talked about. So like for you as a kid, can you remember like when you were sitting in those home videos being really quiet, was it like a level of anxiety? Was it a level of just like, I'm just going to sit here and like let this happen? And were your parents like ever talking to you? It seems like you guys have had a very open dialogue about like how you were feeling, you know, encouraging that kind of thing. Is that like a truth? Am I?
Oh yeah, no, 1,000,000%.
Awesome.
And I think too, as an adult, to almost a fault now, because they know every detail about my life, like anything. I'm like family group chat. Hey guys, guess what just happened? But anyway, yes, correct.
Okay, cool.
I think that I was an observer.
Mm-hmm.
I sat back and just observed and was like kind of a sponge. And then from there, them taking my hand, and my dad, the first time I ever sang, my dad said, come up on stage with me, because I would always like at home be like, na, 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 you know?
Right, of course.
And he's like, sing background vocals for me on this song called Mustang Sally's. And it was like an outdoor concert he was playing with his band. And he called me up, and I remember it was like, all you want to do is ride around Sally. And then the background was me like, ride, Sally, ride.
How old were you? Like 5?
Literally like 7. But they opened that gate up for me to be like, you can speak up, you can sing, you can do these things. I always think that the support, they really were always open with conversation. They are huge mental health advocates.
That's awesome.
So I want to say I was probably in 8th grade. Yes, I was in 8th grade going into high school when I think I had my first panic attack. And I never knew that feeling, and I never knew what that feeling would be.
Totally.
And I remember being to my mom, like, Mom, my chest is so heavy right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. She's like, it's okay. Like, you'll be okay. And it was the change always freaks me out.
Mm-hmm.
Change is my biggest fear.
We're the same in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think like being uncomfortable was freaking me out, because I'm going to be in a school. Like, how am I going to know how to get to my classes? How all this? So I think that was my first turning point of like, okay, something is bigger than me that I don't know what's going on necessarily or how to control it. And from there, we started having really open conversations of like, okay, like, how are you feeling today? Like, how is this? How is that? And always, again, supportive in that aspect for my parents. And then my siblings as well. My brother was in therapy since he was
Little.
in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And he got diagnosed with ADHD. He's been seeing a therapist. He still sees a therapist to this day. And I think the most encouraging part about it all is to see who he is today from it, and see that like my parents never gave up on him and never let him feel those feelings by himself.
Yeah. Or feel othered.
Correct.
Yeah.
And from there, that gave me, because I'm the youngest of the 3, that gave me the confidence to be like, okay, I want to help myself too.
That's awesome.
So I first started seeing, since this is a therapist podcast, I started seeing my therapist when I was 18.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And then I've literally been with her. She's my best friend. Maria, I love you.
I'm the same. Yeah, literally. I talk about Melissa all the time. I'm like, Melissa, love you so down. Love you down. Love you down.
Don't know what I would do without.
I literally think about like people having to like stop therapy and like getting a new one. And I'm like, I can't.
No, it's, and she like reminds me a lot. She's like, Bella, you don't need me. You want me. I'm like, no. And she's like, no. We've done all this work. You don't need me. You want me.
And I'm like, no, I need.
Yeah.
It's need actually, girl.
Yeah.
That's so great. That makes me so happy to like, because it's such a testament to who you are. It's so clear to me that your parents had that energy about them and that openness and that like, about mental health and about you and encouraging, like that's so beautiful. And like, that makes me so happy to know that that's true about you. And obviously we're going to get to this eventually, but like you being a mom, like,
correct.
We'll talk about that. But first, let's talk about the voice.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's talk about the voice. Let's talk about performing under pressure. So like, first of all, if you haven't heard Bella sing, turn this off right now and go listen to it because it's so good. If my personal recommendation would either be her audition, which would be Damaged, or the Katie Ray duet, which is what the fuck?
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough is enough is enough. Literally, like, I think my soul leaves my body every time I watch that song. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's so good. Everyone turn this off right now and go listen to it. Anyway, so tell me everything. Like, what was going through your head on that first audition? You're 23 years old.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, like, tell me about that process. Like, what the hell was going on? Like, how did you get there?
It's so
like, how did that happen?
It's actually craziness. So yes, I was 23 years old when it actually hit. Or probably like 22, 23. But I was auditioning for the show since I was 16. Yeah. So I remember my first audition ever. Oh my gosh. I have the
She's cringing.
Exact image in my head of the outfit that I wore.
Oh God.
I wore a picnic dress that was oversized from Forever 21 down to my mid-calf and sang Impossible, which the contestant that won sang the season before. So like I didn't know anything I was doing. I just thought like, oh yeah. But I went with my mom and it was at some place in New York City, but we waited on a long line and it was like an open call thing. And then that was my first taste of this industry because the woman didn't even look up from her iPad, nothing. And it was just literally for publicity of like, oh, they're holding auditions and people to say this thing is actually legit. So from there, I got a no, obviously. And then, me and my mom went home and I remember that feeling of like angst and like, oh my gosh, like what if they call though? And they're like, wait, I changed my mind. Like I remember being so convinced like this is going, something in me is telling me this is going to work.
That's crazy.
And then I got the no and my sister at the time was just going to like Broadway Dance Center program or something like that. And she was like, Bella, you need to learn how to just let things go and like keep going forward. And I was like, okay, you're right. So then the next year, my mom, who is like literally my agent manager. She's Kris Jenner.
Love it. She's Bella DeNapoli's Kris Jenner.
Truthfully, she's the reason why I got on the show, I believe. And she sent in a clip of me singing something, and then they got back and they were like, hey, she can skip the line if she sends in another video. So I sent in a video of me singing Listen by Beyonce.
Obsessed.
Love it. And
actually dying to see that video. She's literally looking at me like the fear of God. Just like that? She was like,
now I'm like so interested. I'm looking it up after this. Because whoa.
Whoa.
And then I went back that next year when I was 17 and did the same thing, but I got to skip the line.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't wait on the long line.
Right. And you were 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same exact thing. They didn't look up. The year after, they reached out and they said, so now I'm 18. And they're like, hey, we would love for you to audition again or whatever. So I was like, okay, fine. So I got the skip the line thing again. I went in and then I sang. And then they said, hey, can Bella and this one other girl hang back? And I was like, okay.
This is new.
So I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And then I sang Impossible again. Like, girl, learn. And then, nothing. They said, well, and this is where I learned also I have to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Is they said, all right, we'll be in touch. As opposed to like a solid no this time. It was like, we'll be in touch.
I hate that.
I went home and was like, Mom, did they answer? Mom, did they answer? Mom, did they answer? And then finally it was nothing. And I was like, okay, clearly it didn't happen. So then from there, I kind of gave up on music for a sec and went to New York City, moved to New York City after high school and pursued like the beauty industry. So I got my esthetician's license. I got my cosmetology license and was like, I'm going to do this.
Bella, this is like a hidden fact about you.
No, there's like a lot of little hidden facts.
Lore. Oh my God.
So I got my license in the beauty field and started working in weddings. And
in which you would, that makes total sense.
We're going to like pin this and remind me to go back to this point in my life, 18.
Great.
Just remind me.
18.
Okay.
Got it.
Because we're talking about The Voice specifically. And then from there, I am going to be so open, and I don't think I've ever opened up about this. But when I moved to the city and I gave up music, I actually went through a depression.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the first time in my life, I think, that I was scared and like didn't know how to deal with it, which is why I started therapy.
Wow, that makes total sense.
Yeah. So
thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course. And I think I am also, again, an extrovert and someone that like throws energy at you that you would never expect that.
Totally.
But from there, I learned that like performing, singing is my outlet and it is who I am. It's a part of who I am that if I'm not doing that, I'm going to backtrack, you know?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I have to make money from it. That doesn't mean I have to do it professionally. But from there, I started writing music and then I became a songwriter. So now 18 is weird. 19 comes around, they reach out again. And I'm like, oh God,
you guys again.
So I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it again. Why not?
And you did it.
And I did. Got a no.
Said.
Now I turn 20 and this is where it gets interesting.
Oh, I'm ready.
So they come back around. Hey. And I'm like, and now it's like a different casting director.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is interesting. He goes, you can just send a video. You don't have to come to the open call. So I said, okay. So I sent a video and then he says, we would love to have you at our executives audition. And I said, oh, all right. So I got my dad. They said, bring an instrumentalist. I said, perfect. Dad, come on.
Let's go.
And we went into Brooklyn and I forgot like the studio, and we sang this like Natasha Bedingfield song.
Was it Unwritten?
No, it was like one of her songs that aren't. It's actually like killer, but I don't remember what it's called.
It, but yeah.
Yeah. And then I sang that and met this guy named Luke.
Okay.
And then from there, made a connection with him. And we got a no. However, he emailed and said, I would love to reach out to you next season and let's talk about song choice. So I said, okay. So then I'm not even going to go into it, but the next year, same thing. But this time he kind of like told me like, hey, which song? The next year. So now we're like 6 times, right?
That's crazy. How old are you now? 20? You were 21
I was
at
like,
that point?
I was like 20, 21. Yes.
So this is like COVID's happening.
So
at this point.
COVID is just about to happen.
Okay.
And I auditioned and I got the no. And then the November of COVID.
2020. Yeah.
Yes. November of COVID, he reached out and was like, hey, we're going to do a virtual season. And we're not sure if we're going to fly people out, whatever. He's like, can you just send in some videos? So I said, okay. So I sent in videos and I was really confident in them and thought to myself, like, there's no way. Why is he reaching out to me? Like, this is going to happen. And that gut instinct is like, something's going to hit. And then we went on through the whole thing. And then he's like, okay, stand by. We might be flying you out. But stand by. You'll find out in April. So I said, okay, it's November. I'm like,
Oh my
great.
God.
So again, going back to my roots, I had to let it go and just keep going forward. And I got a no. And I was like, I'm giving up. I'm sorry. Bye. Never
Leave me
again.
alone.
I
Yeah.
hate the voice. I'm
Hate
never
you.
doing it again.
Yeah.
This is horrible for me. And then from there, I went through another phase of like, okay, maybe this isn't my life.
Mm-hmm.
I got my personal training license.
You're just racking up licenses.
I worked
You're racking them up.
Orange Theory coach. I swear. And I was like, okay, this is life now. And then I was like, you know what? But I'm going to become a songwriter. Like now I'm going to become an artist.
Love.
Screw them. I'm going to make this thing happen for me.
Just for you.
For me.
Screw them.
Yep. So I was in the studio every day of the week.
That's amazing.
And I was writing every day of the week. Wow. Being a personal trainer.
Obsessed.
And then when they came back, I was like, no. Like, I don't want to do this.
You said no?
I said, oh, no, I didn't say no. This is how he came back. He said, hey, Bella, I know you probably don't want to or don't trust me, but I'm telling you, submit again. And I said, why? And he's like, I'm just telling you, like, submit again. So I said, fine, I'm trusting in a higher power, higher source. And I said, you know what? Also, if this doesn't work out, I still have all these songs. I wrote an album. I still have all these.
Yeah, like you had something this time.
So I was like, so if he says no, like, oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it hit. And little did I know, Ariana Grande, that was her first season and her only season.
Yeah.
So
Is that
it's
why
like-
he told you to?
I think so. He never really went into it, but it's so crazy how things worked because if I made it that COVID season, if I made it when I was 18 or even 16, like I would have never been in this position. So
No.
like divine timing is such a thing. And I tell that to every single person I meet, and especially the younger kids that like come up to me and are like, oh, I want to be a singer. I'm like, listen, you can do anything. You just have to remember that what's meant for you is not going to pass you by.
Totally.
And it might feel like in the moment it's the end of the world, but it's actually aligning for you in the right way.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine if I made it the season before?
No, you had to have been on
I
Ariana
would have
Grande's
been-
team.
Heartbroken.
Totally.
And then I would have also been like, it was a COVID season and
It was virtual.
like
It
there
wasn't.
was,
Yeah.
So it's like everything happens for such a reason. And then I made that season and it's changed my life forever. And now I'm here.
That's so
Full
fucking
circle.
crazy.
That was
Full
like,
circle.
that was like a book.
No, we learned so much about you. First of all, you have a million certificates to do a million different things.
You know what? I always thought to myself, like, if I'm pursuing this career, I want to have something to give me like, okay, I can do this and provide for my family
Totally.
and provide for myself if I need to.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's like a very common theme, I think, with performers, like the mental battle of like, I want to do this thing that I love so much, but ultimately it doesn't always pay the bills.
Correct.
And also you're a contractor most of the time, and work.
Exactly.
There are times where it's plentiful and there's so much work and you're working all the time, and you know those opportunities come. And there are also dry seasons where there are days, months, years sometimes. Like one of my friends, I think I've told you the story. One of my friends went 5 years without work, 5 whole years, and he's now in the Book of Mormon on Broadway. Like it literally just like happened like
Literally.
so fast, like so quick. He like gave up. He was like, screw this, fuck this, I don't care. And then he had gone in. It was a similar thing with The Voice where he had gone in like for years, and
Mhm.
every single time they were like, no. And he was like, but yeah, what do you want from me? And then
Right.
he went in this last time. He was like, if I don't get it this time, I swear to God, I'm gonna like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm gonna do. And he booked it. It was like incredible.
But divine timing.
But divine, it's so, it's like he says it too. I think like it is such divine timing for him. So obviously we talked about Ariana Grande, our queen, loving you down, diva. If you're watching this, love you so bad. Have loved you for years.
Love you, Mom.
Love you so bad. Like for you, like walking out onto that stage, I'm sure the adrenaline was like, I don't even know if you remember. Did you black out? Like what were you telling yourself in that moment, like to keep the cool? Like,
okay, so I actually have a trick, and it's the best thing that is free in life, which is box breathing.
Okay, yeah.
Before every single performance I do, but especially talking about this one specifically, I did 10, probably more than that day, but like box breaths before I went on stage, which if for those of you that don't know, it's you inhale for 4 times, inhale for 4, hold for 4, let go for 4. And it just literally grounds you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I went on stage also feeling grounded, but also feeling as though telling myself that like I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Like I am here and I already did the work. I already know what I want in life. I know what makes me me in life. I know who I am, which I think is also like a nod to why I feel like my experience was so amazing on that show.
Totally.
Because I was completely Bella,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I went in with the expectation of you don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything.
Right.
So it's like I was thinking to myself, how lucky am I to just perform in front of these people? And if they don't turn their chairs, they will at the end.
That's true.
And who else can go home and say, wow, I just sang in front of Ariana Grande.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but well, obviously, yes. But then she picks you.
Yeah, that was nutty.
I would have thrown up on her.
Well, actually, this is also really interesting. So when they do the chair turn, you don't actually hear the sound.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because so many people like get like, at least that's what like the producers were saying.
Yeah.
So I hit a note specifically like midway through the song, and that's when all of them turned at the same time, except for Blake. All 3 of Kelly, John, and Ari turned at the same time, and I didn't really know.
How did you not know? Did you not see them?
No, because my eyes were closed, and I was like, yeah.
Oh.
And then I opened and I was like, oh my God.
And then how did you get through the rest of that song?
Really don't know, but like something came over me. And then I hit the note that I've never practiced. I hit this note I've never practiced before. And I was just like.
It's like what happened during. It's like, what did that happen also in the duet? Like that last thing you do, like, did you practice? You told me this. You were like, you were like, no, some of that just like came out of my ass.
Yeah. So I think the thing with the duet, which was probably will go down as like my favorite moment in history of my life so far. Oh, of course, being a mother. I love my Rory girl. That was number 1. But this is like number 2. Me and Katie Ray got paired together.
Mm-hmm.
We got this song. Ariana picked it for us. And instead of looking at it as it's a battle, as they like to pin it,
mm-hmm.
we were like, no, this is a duet, girl. Let's do this and just have fun. We're so different. Who cares who's going to win? Let's just make this a good performance.
And you did.
And I think going in with that intention set us apart of like, oh, wow, they're so unique. They're so different. This isn't a battle.
Mm-mm.
This is just like friendship and the love for performing
and singing down
and working my little tail feather off.
You were like, I was like, oh my God, your cords must have been exhausted after that. So we kind of have talked about this a little bit. Like being on The Voice seems like such a pressure cooker. It's so high stakes. There's a live studio audience. Was there a live studio audience at that point? Live studio audience, like you're on national television. Like I'm sure like your Instagram was getting flooded. Like there was just so much happening. And you talked a little bit about like box breathing, like for the performance aspect of it. But I think something I'm also interested in is like the social media aspect of it. Like what was that like for you? Was it like weird? Just tell me about like that mental health and mental state you were in when you were getting all this attention so fast. Like that's the thing about these shows that I think is so crazy is like you get so much attention. You go from like being a normal everyday Joe Schmo to like being somebody who's like on national television and everybody knows your name and everyone has heard you sing and you're going viral. Like what was that like for your brain?
Insane.
I'm sure, especially at 23. Like it's like.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting because I heard this on some podcast, big podcast girly, and someone said like, too much love and too much hate both are the same amount of like evil. Do you know what I mean? Like too much, like, so I think when my following started growing, like it's almost like a drug of like, oh my gosh, wait, this could be huge. Like this could change my life. And then it's like, oh my God, but wait, oh no, I just lost 1,000. Shoot. It's like, why did I care so much? I'm looking back now, it's 26, that's 3 years ago. It's like, why did I care so much about that? You know?
Right, yeah.
I think that was something that for me was like, I didn't expect it to feel personal. Like when I look at all of these celebrities and all these huge influencers on social media that have huge followings, like I think to myself, like my 20 whatever, however old I was, self was probably thinking like, oh, this isn't personal. Like this, like, I don't know if I'm making any sense.
No, you are.
But basically it's like, I took it so personal of like, this is exactly who I am. This is my aesthetic. It put so much pressure on myself of like feeling like I needed to show up for those people that followed me, those new people, and feeling like I needed to meet their expectation. And that's something that I think I'm still working on, is that relationship with social media that's like too much is going to hurt and too little is going to hurt. So it's like I need to find that happy medium, and I'm glad I did find it. We have our moments, but that was like something. And I think talking about the pressure cooker of everything, peak and pit of the show, my peak was the battle, and it was the best thing of my life, changed my life forever. And I'm so grateful for that. And I think I also was so proud of myself in the way that I stayed true to Bella. You know?
Yeah.
I stayed true to myself. I stayed true to exactly who I was. I wasn't trying to be anyone I wasn't. And that gave me confidence to be like, see, you're doing it. Pit was when I got voted off.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we all say, whoever was on the show with me, is it's like you're in a bubble, literally like Galinda, no pun intended. And the second you get voted off, it's like the bubble pops and you're done. Like, it's like, bye. You get treated from going to glam, getting fed, getting drivers, getting, so much attention and so much. We're all human. We love attention.
Of course.
Limelight to, nope, you're back. Bye. That never happened. And it's like this crazy, exactly, pop of like, whoa. That's like, this is really tough. And it's like, I remember asking myself, like, was that all worth it for me to feel this low? And it's like, I've done the work. I've worked with my therapist. I've worked with that mental standpoint that I want to be at to get to the point of being like, hey, that was an amazing experience and it's formed you into who you're supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be forever.
Totally. No, it was just like a moment in time.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's switch gears a little bit. Thank you for sharing all that. That was so awesome to hear about, like how you just like managed all of that. Like it's just so much for your developing brain. Developing. Speaking of developing brains, let's talk about Rory.
I can't wait.
Motherhood.
Oh my gosh.
The most unexpected gift you ever received. The voice was like the most expected gift because you had been going after it for like 7 years. So like it was like at that point you were like, can you just give me the fucking gift? Like enough, like enough. Rory, like you posted on social media. I remember this was one of the first times you came across my For You page again since being on The Voice was when you got pregnant. And you posted that video of you being like crying, being like, I'm pregnant and it's not expected and I don't know what to do. And I think that level of vulnerability is so inspiring to me. Like I have a tough time with vulnerability and I've talked about it on the podcast before. The fact that you were able to like pull up the camera and like talk about it and post it was like big strength. So I want to know a little bit about like, what was that? Like, it wasn't planned, I assume. No. Like what was going through your head when you saw that positive pregnancy test and what were you telling yourself?
Yeah.
Like, because you obviously were crying, but like there was a sense of calmness to you in that video, which was so interesting, especially because it was unexpected. There was a sense of like, okay, I'm 20. You were 24 years old and you're pregnant. It's your boyfriend. You had been dating for
2 years.
2 years and like you hadn't gotten married. Like none of the things. Like what was going through your head at that time?
I think the first thing was timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all envision our life and it's like you set goals, but they're loose goals. It's like, no, we all are a culprit of let's try to plan out our life because it feels good, because it feels like a sense of control.
Totally.
And when I saw that test,
oh my God,
I literally felt like my whole world flashed before my eyes of like there's another life inside of me right now. And I think to your point, that's also why I was so calm.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mother instinct kicked in and said, I have to remain calm for this baby. Even though she was the size of a sesame seed, I felt like I have to protect her. Because if I lose my cool right now and go down and listen to those demons that I've had before, she's a culprit of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that when I saw the test, the first thing that came to my mind was my life is, for lack of better words, my life is like over.
Yeah.
Like I'm a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that also scared me because we just talked about my identity that I identified with was being a singer. So it's like I felt lost and I felt like, where's my next step? Like, I don't even know. And then to be able to gain control and say, Bella, this is so scary right now, but this is happening for a reason. And going back to divine timing gave me the sense of, okay, I need to trust in that. And I think I never really have talked about this, which is crazy. I think that in that moment, I just came off of a week, working like a 9-day week. I came off of a red eye from working a wedding in Naples or something like that, and was on no sleep. The next week I was going on a girls trip with my girlfriends. We planned like 6 months in advance, but the week coming up I had 7 shows booked, had a training in the city. Like I had no idea what I was doing, auditions. And I just kept leading and living my life by performing makes me happy. I need to succeed in this. I need to succeed in this. And I also feel like that's also the expectation I put on myself.
Totally.
That was like, I have all these people on my back saying, what is Bella DeNapoli doing now? What is she doing now? What is that girl that was on Team Ariana Grande doing now? And I had this expectation of like, I have to get it for them. And as soon as I became pregnant, it was like, you have to do what's best for you. And that has never happened in my life.
Talk about divine timing. Like that's the universe literally telling you like you're not listening.
Correct.
I always say the universe whispers
chills
before it screams. The universe screamed at you and said, you're not prioritizing yourself. You're doing it for the wrong reasons and you're not going to listen unless this is thrown at you.
Right. And thank gosh she was, because she is everything I want to be. Like, isn't that crazy? She's like 10 months, but I want to be, she inspires me. Like, I want to live like Rory. Like what? Oh my God, I'm going to cry. But it's just, thank gosh that happened. And it was scary in the time because it was so different. And again, going back to when we started this podcast, being change,
scary
and uncomfortable,
pregnancy
are literally my biggest
cornerstones
fears.
of pregnancy also.
My biggest fears. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I've never been here before. And what the heck? So luckily I have the best support system. I lived right across the street from my best friends.
Amazing.
So Anthony, I'm going to tell you how this happened now. Anthony was working.
Her fiance.
My fiance, correct. Anthony. Love you,
Father of Rory.
Father of Rory. Baby dad. And
soon to be husband.
Soon to be husband. And I lived across the street from my best friend. So the first call I made since Anthony was working, I didn't want to freak him out. He also worked like 45 minutes away.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
And he was working a night shift. And I was like, so I called my sister and she's in the city. She's like, I don't know what to tell you. Because everyone just said, like, you need to process this on your, like, this is you. Like, I'm here for you.
I can't tell you what to do.
But I'm here for you. Like, what do you, like, I don't know what to do for you, but I'm here for you. And then she was like, you should really get your girlfriends to go and get another test. Because what if it's a false positive? So I never...
No such thing as... Is there?
There's no such thing. It's like literally like 0.0001%.
Yeah.
And so I called them and they went to like Stop and Shop and got like 7 pregnancy sticks and a kombucha because they didn't want to go to the cash register and
with
get
like
just
7 pregnancy sticks.
So like she wanted to hide it. And then we look it up. It's like pregnant women cannot have kombucha.
Did she drink the kombucha?
So she drank the kombucha.
Okay, good. I'm glad you didn't take that.
No, no. But so I took all those and they were positive. And then I called my mom because again, he was still at work and I did not something I want to say over the phone.
No. Oh my God.
And,
no.
Yeah. And I called my mom and she came over and I didn't tell her on the phone either. I said, oh, we got into a really big fight. Like I'm crying.
Can you come?
And then she walked in and she was like, oh, okay. And she probably said, okay, like 7 million times. She's like, okay.
She's like,
what do you mean? Okay. What do you mean?
Something else.
So yeah. And then he ended up coming home and
I've seen that video. It's sweet.
Yeah. And it was like, all the answers were there. The second we hugged each other, it was like, this is what we're meant to do.
That's so amazing. Like if anyone has seen these videos, like you should go watch them. They're so sweet. I sometimes when I like need to feel something, I like go on your page and I go and watch them because they're so sweet. But he just like, and I want to talk about him too. Like he just like, I'm sure that was not his plan either. Like you're both the same age at the time? Both?
He's actually older. He's 30.
Okay, cool. Now
at the time he was 29.
Got you. So for him, maybe it was like a little less like,
correct.
But I loved that he just like hugged you and was like, it's okay. I love you.
No, it's like
could make me cry. Like I was like that. You found your person and you didn't. I mean, you probably knew at that point that you had, but like if you didn't, like talk about.
I know.
Oh my God.
No, it's like I think someone commented on it. There's like the greenest of greenest flags, and I was like, no, literally.
No, the greenest of flags.
Like I couldn't have gotten
like
a confirmation of this is exactly who you are meant to be with.
Yeah.
Than the way he looked at me and held me and was like, I'm here for you and we got this. Like he let me feel and said like, your feelings are valid, but I'm here for you.
That's so amazing.
And that's just like parenting too. Like now she's 10 and a half months and we're still doing the same thing.
Was it ever on were you ever, because I'm thinking about like at 24, what I was thinking, I mean, I'm almost 26, but like, even now getting pregnant, like the conversation would be like, well, my immediate thought isn't I'm having this baby.
Yeah.
My immediate thought is like,
yeah.
Like, am I going to get an abortion? Like, was that something you thought about or no?
I think when it first happened, I thought to myself, like, I have options.
You do?
Like, I didn't feel like
trapped,
correct. Which is great.
You made a choice, like an intentional choice.
And I think for me personally, I was like, again, looking at all the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
What was I doing in life? What was this? What was that? And what actually switched and flipped for me, which was, hey, Bella, I think you're meant to slow down. And then I was like, wow, how amazing would it be? So instead of saying, hey, I'm 24, I'm a performer that's pursuing this crazy dream and young and don't have my life figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, how great is it that I get to figure out my life with someone beside me, 24/7. I get to inspire and get to tell her like, hey, mommy never gave up. Things get thrown your way, but you don't give up. And persistence is everything.
Mm-hmm.
And also inspire other women that like, it is so possible to do everything that you want to do. Like if you don't want to pursue a dream like mine and be a mom and you want to do the opposite, that's also fine. But for me, I was like, I'm not done yet. I have things that my child self needs to.
Yeah, it needs to do
for me.
And I need to do it also in service of my child.
Exactly. So
incredible. Ugh, you're such a good mom. I cannot. I'm sure you must be like the best mom in whole. Can you be my mom?
Okay, done.
So I think you talked about this a little bit, but I want to know, like, obviously, like, because your parents raised you with such this, like, supportive, open, thing that they had going on, are there things that you think you're going to do differently from your parents? Or, like, what are the things you're going to do the exact same, do you think?
Yeah, I think as just, like, humanity, we evolve and we learn, we get more knowledge.
Totally.
And I think that with the knowledge that I have from my parents, oh my gosh, am I so lucky if I raise my daughter the way they raised me. I think there are things that I personally am curious about, as if, like, oh, what if I, like, for example, what if I got her into therapy at a younger age? Or what if I had
I think
more,
about that a lot too.
Yeah, more open conversations. Or what if I got her into, like, I don't know, like eating broccoli earlier. Like, I don't know. Like, all these things that are like the what if of like, oh, what if I do that though? Like, what does that look like? I'm curious. So I think there's a level of curiosity, but also a level of security that I know I will never not be as good of a parent as my parents parented me.
Totally. You're going to be different. I don't think it's to reframe. I feel like for you, like, you're going to be your own version of awesome. Like, you're going to be your own, and you're going to take things. That's something I worked on a lot in therapy, and I think about a lot in therapy, because obviously, like, parents have shortcomings. Like, obviously, they're humans. Like,
of course.
And they're experiencing life for the first time too.
Right.
So I think, like, as a mom, we were talking about this a little bit before we started talking, like real talking, but, like, there's so much pressure on moms through social media. It kind of brings it back to the social media conversation of, like, what is expected of you on the world stage, on the social media stage of, like, what is being a good mom? What are all the things that you should be doing and you shouldn't be doing? Like, there's just so much noise.
So much.
And it's like, you're going to be your own version of awesome.
Yeah. And I think boundaries are huge too.
Oh my God.
Like, in every aspect of life. That's my
Totally.
like goals for 2025.
To have more boundaries?
Is to just boundaries in every aspect.
Yeah. For yourself, and also, like, you're a mom, like, you're caring for you're caring for another life, and, like, you carried that life, you grew that life. Who's to say they know better for your child than you? Like, that's always the part that
Absolutely
gets me, of, like, of course, like, a pediatrician, like, and doctors, like, they know what they're talking about. Obviously, I didn't get, like, a degree in pediatrics,
right.
whatever. But, like, I don't know, like, the Dr. Me. Oh my God, imagine Dr. Kate. No one should trust me with a scalpel, or a stethoscope. No one. And, like, I hate that about, like, it's social media. Like, I really hate that. And, like, it makes me feel, especially because, like, we've become friends, like, it makes me so sad to think that, like, you get mom shamed, or, like, mom shaming. It makes me so, because it's such a personal thing, and there's so much heart. Like, it's just like, girl, mind your biz.
And I think that's the other thing too that's also really telling, is that if I fed into all the mom shaming, I wouldn't be chasing this career.
Oh my God, yeah.
Totally.
No.
And I got advice from someone that was like, adapt the baby to your lifestyle. Don't adapt your lifestyle to the baby. And I think
great piece of advice.
That's also something that's changed the game for me and for Anthony. Is like literally going full force on what's best for us and including her in it. And then thinking as a family and not thinking of just the baby.
That is a great piece of advice. Like, generally speaking, just, like, for life. Like, don't adapt yourself to somebody. Don't adapt yourself to, like, adapt.
Period.
Adapt together. And I think that that's something that, like, there's a lot of, like, fear mongering that happens, I think, with, like, kids. And, like, once you have your kid, like, there's the age old of, like, you have a kid and your life is over.
Right.
You live your life now for your kid. That is amazing. Honestly, that's great advice. Like I said, like, generally speaking, like, don't adapt your life for someone, adapt it, like, together and with. Like, I think that the age-old thing of, like, your life becomes about your child, and you have to give up all your dreams, and you have to give up all your things. And I hate that. And I think that's a generational thing. Like, I get that advice from a lot of older people in my life, and it comes from a good place. I never think that advice is trying to, like, put me down or be malicious or whatever, but I think that's what they were told. But it's not true anymore. Like, you figure it out. You figure out the ways to, like, provide for your family and make your life worth living for you.
Right.
Because that ultimately helps your child. It helps you
Yeah.
parent your kid.
And I think it's also about who you decide to partner with.
Totally.
And like speaking on Anthony in specific, like he will not let me give up my career.
Mhm.
He's like, yes, and like, go. Like, we got this. We will figure it out. Is it going to be hard? Heck yeah, it's going to be hard. If life gets crazy, that's okay. But we're a unit and we're going to figure this out. And you are doing everything you dream for. Why stop? Why stop? Because she's only going to look at you and be like, oh, that's cool. Like, imagine her being able to be like, oh yeah, I was in my mom's dressing room like all the time. Like, that's so cool.
That's so cool.
So like the goals are crazy. And also again, who you surround yourself with, the people you're partnering up with. My agents and my representation are so understanding and so supportive and
awesome.
so those boundaries, knowing to put those boundaries in and communicate with those people exactly what you need and what you're looking for and where you're at
Right.
is the most important.
It's just communication and boundaries is
Yeah.
really all it is, especially when you're, rearing a children. Rearing a children, right?
Rearing
Kate?
children.
Rearing the baby. I want to talk a little bit about like Anthony. We talked about Rory. We were loving Rory, loving her down.
Love.
He seems like such the most incredible partner and just like the most wonderful. So take me a little bit through your dating life and how did you get to someone so incredible and perfect?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Long journey? Short journey?
Short journey.
Hard?
No.
Love?
Yeah. I met him when I was not expecting. And I was like, I'm going to be single. So I just got out of like a 5-year relationship. Yeah.
How was that relationship?
Young.
Right.
Young.
Just young.
Young and naive.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way to say that.
And
I would use much harsher words about my first relationship. Sure, that's so Bella to be like, young and inexperienced. I would be like, he sucks. Hate him.
I did drop an album and I got a lot of hate for that. But anyway, we're going to move on. I met Anthony when I was not expecting it. And we got introduced by a friend. And when I saw him, I was like, who is this man?
Mm-hmm.
Who is he? I need to know him. And when we met, I was like, oh my gosh. And this is actually really funny. My sister, me, and my brother were all in this show choir thing in high school.
Love.
It was literally like a performance show choir. We did like, it was like
Glee.
Glee. Literally, I was just about to say that.
You were doing Glee.
Glee. And my sister was in Glee. It was called Vocal Motion. Shout out Vocal Motion. Love you guys. I was in Glee.
You were in Glee.
4 years after my sister, but when my sister was in Glee, I love how I'm calling this Glee.
Yeah,
My sister was in Vocal Motion. So was her Anthony's sister, Justine. So they became really close friends. So our families met. I have met, and I always knew him as Justine's hot brother. Through my sister being like, oh, that's Justine's hot brother. And he was like a lax bro. Yeah. We're
such a Long Island decor.
We're polar opposites. And also, mind you, when I got out of my 5-year relationship, I was like, no, I am like going for someone doesn't step foot in Long Island. Like, no
That's
way.
Hilarious.
And then I meet someone that grew up in the same town as me, just 5 years older. And we fell in love.
And now you have a baby.
And now we have a child.
And you're getting married.
And we're getting married. And his family is like everything and more I could have ever imagined for myself. And same thing, him blending in with my family is just incredible.
Just easy.
And yeah, like how lucky am I that I got pregnant unexpectedly with the man of my dreams, the family of my dreams, and she's like the child of my dreams.
She's
like,
perfect.
So I just feel very grateful when I reflect on it.
Amazing. That's so crazy.
Crazy.
What's so funny is when you're talking about that, because I don't think I've talked about Max on this podcast millions of times. Have you met Max?
Yes, I met
briefly.
him.
You met him very briefly.
2 weeks ago.
Yes. He and I met not in a similar way, but like I had thought the same thing where I was like, I had just gotten out of, I was in my whoring it out era.
Heck yeah.
I was whoring it out and I was like doing all these crazy whatever. And I was like, I dated all of these like theater men and I was like, fuck theater men. Fuck it. Screw it. These tenors, these toxic tenors need to get away from me. I was like, the TTs. I said, get out of my face. And then I met Max. I swore off of them. I was like, I'm not dating another tenor. I'm not dating another musical theater performer. I'm going to date someone in finance. Like, fuck this.
You
No,
try to run, but they find you.
But you're the love of your life finds you. They find you and they say, hey.
And you get this like chill down your spine. I don't know about you, but like you just get this feeling.
You just know. I talk about it. Like when I first saw him, it was the same thing where I was like, who is that man?
Yeah.
Needing to know him. Who is that?
Yeah.
Come here. Like that's literally what it was. I was like, come to me. And it just like, it's so, every piece of dating advice I give a lot of my friends is I'm like, it should just feel like easy. Like there should be no moments of like, does he like me? Does he not like me? Like Max was clear from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Anthony, like was Anthony as well. Like immediately like, I like you. I want to be with you. I want to figure this out. Like that's what it was for me.
We were doing distance because I moved to LA after The Voice. I moved to LA. And when I met him, I was like, I am moving. Like, I will be in LA, just an FYI. He's like, oh, okay. Like, that's fine. And I'm like, but I'm just telling you, I will be in LA. He's like, okay, that's fine.
Girl.
I'm like, you're going to run? Like
are you going to tell me that? Are you going to like cheat on me? Like, what's the tea?
He's like, no, like, it's cool. We'll make it work. And then he came and like, he visited. And it was like, I remember we always go back to this. Now we're like 4 years dating, almost. Now we're engaged, all this stuff. But there was a moment of where I picked him up from the airport and like, I never experienced those butterflies that I did when I was like, didn't see him for a month and like picked him up from the airport after talking to him every single day and being like,
like in the beginning.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like, if we go with this job career that we are both in and you do sometimes, unfortunately, have to go a couple of days without seeing each other.
Is he an actor?
Whatever. No, me and you. I'm talking.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
whenever we're
Anthony's an actor?
He actually wants to be a country singer in his next life. I'm like, babe.
Love that for you. Do it.
You know, that's what my mom said. She goes, who's telling you can't do it now?
Mrs. DeNapoli.
I'm like, Ma, stop. And he's like, she's right.
And you're like, no, please.
But yeah, so it's when you know, and
it's just easy. Like
I actually have a question for you.
Oh my God. What's the question?
Yeah, we're flipping this over.
Okay.
So when you
this is your podcast
dating
now.
someone, wait, no, now I just answered the question. But when you meet someone, you're vibing. They ask you on a date. Great first date. You go home. They ask you on another date. What are you guys doing? Are you guys
like a second date?
Yeah, like are you guys dating, talking, seeing each other?
Oh, you're asking like what that is.
To you.
To me, I would say seeing each other.
Damn it.
Why? What would you say?
So on our second date, I said to him, I'm like, we were at an Italian restaurant, of course, DeNapoli DeLuca, are you kidding me? And we ordered like a million things off the menu. And I was like, oh, you're dating a girl that can eat. And he was like, we're dating? And I was like, that's what we're doing here. We're on a date.
Well, I would say, no, I would say seeing each other, but I also would say, I mean, like, because it gets so, I understand your point.
So here, everybody, this is a poll.
Dating or seeing each other?
Please let us know.
Dating or seeing each other? It could be both. Like it's both. Like because you are going on dates, you are dating.
Right.
I would say, I don't know, because we use it so flippantly. Like when I'm talking about my, I don't know. When I refer to Max,
isn't it a great question?
It is a great question. It's like asking if a hot dog's a sandwich. Like it's kind of like a mind fuck. You're like, wait, I actually don't know. Because like when I was seeing him, dating him, because I don't refer to him now as like, oh, we're dating.
Right.
I'm like, that's my boyfriend.
Right.
Like, I'm not like, oh, my boyfriend or like, oh, I don't say like the guy I'm seeing, the guy I'm dating. I would say like my boyfriend. Like, I don't say like guy I'm dating.
See? I'm telling you, it's a great food for thought.
That is, I mean, because I guess like they mean the same thing.
But anyway, he didn't say it to my face, but like a couple months later, he was like, you know, you like said we were dating on the second date. I was like, because we were. And he's like, no, we weren't. I was like, yes, we were.
Yes, we were. And also, don't act like you didn't want to.
I know. And that's what I said. I go, you were happy. He's like, of course I was.
So it's like, shut up, actually. Shut up. No, literally, that's so, that makes me so happy that you found someone that is so perfect. So this is a question I'm going to literally read from this document I have right here is, how do you support each other's dreams without losing yourselves in the chaos of early parenthood? Because that is, to me, I think about that, like getting pregnant and having a baby. And like my boyfriend works in theater. Thinking about like, how do you do that?
Yeah. It's hard. Navigating that is hard, but going back to reality and going back to the small moments is what I think makes it the most successful. Like the small things of navigating, like, oh, let's put our phones away and just watch her clap her hands a million times and see what she does differently this time around. That unites us more than anything. And then like being like, we always say this, but like love's the Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Like it's not the big things. It's not like
The grand
the
gestures.
extravagant dinner
Yeah.
we go to. It's the small things that really make the big things
better.
Exactly. So I think navigating that is we're still learning, but the most important thing is trusting and knowing in each other and really relying on each other of like, hey, can we talk about this for a second? Because I'm feeling really insecure about this specifically. Like me personally, I'll talk on my behalf with my career. If it's a job offer that is me going on tour, that's something we have to talk about.
Totally.
You know? And that's something we have to sit down and be like, hey, is this realistic or not? And being able to have those open and honest conversations is something that just makes us so much stronger and grow every day.
That's so open communication.
Yeah.
Communication and boundaries, like we said. Literally what it is.
The theme.
To talk about a little bit like your career as we wrap her up, I want to know like what are your, because we obviously met in a theater class. What are your like career goals? Like what are the things you want to do? I've been dying to ask you this for like months. I'm actually thrilled we're asking it and there's a microphone in front of me.
Yeah. So I think going back to, remember I said put a pin in this?
18. Taking the pin out.
Taking the pin out. In 12th grade, senior year, actually auditioned for a bunch of musical theater schools.
Okay.
And was like, I'm going to be on Broadway.
Obsessed.
Like that was my goal. Trained with a bunch of people, auditioned for schools, and got denied by my top school, which was Marymount Manhattan.
Wow. I was not expecting you to say that.
That was my top school. My best friend, my brother's best friend went there and I was like in awe of his life. And I was like, I need to do this. Like this, like I, again, planned, scripted things out and got the no. And that's another reason why I ran, because I got the no from The Voice. I got the no from college and I said, I'm done. Yeah. So fast forward, I auditioned for The Voice, got on The Voice. Now, hold on, where am I? Okay, we took the pin out. Marymount Manhattan rejected. Theater, I was like, never doing it again.
Yeah, hating you.
Come probably August of 2023, I got asked to be on Pop Stars Go Broadway 54 Below show by this team I was working with at the time. And I got called in from that show to audition for 6.
Well, yes.
And that gave me the bug all over again. And then we're in the city for the first time. I don't even know what I'm saying. But then I was like, okay, no, I'm back. I'm back. This feels like home. I think walking away with that audition, being like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Like going again against every expectation of, hey, I don't need a college degree.
No. Oh my God, to do this?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't need to know this person. I will know them. So right then and there, I said the sky's the limit. And then all these challenges came my way and it still keeps coming back. So when you ask me what my dreams are in this career is I want to inspire young women like myself that want to have children, are scared because there was a stigma for such a long time of like, once you have kids, you're out, like say bye to the business, of being like, no, we can make it work. And I want to be on Broadway. My goal is to be able to have my daughter look at me and be like, watch me get dressed up and play dress up with her. And then
the Tony Awards.
Yeah. And be like, hey, look at how many no's have I gotten in my life? And she gave me the yes. to be like, hey, mom, you can do this. So now it's like, I feel so inspired and I have a different purpose. I have a different motive. I have a different aspect on life and what it actually means. And it's like, I want to take that with me and put that into my work and put that into each character I take on and put that into each creative team I work with of like my vision of life and what it means and what art has done for me. And it's like just creating art for the people that need to feel it. Because when I was in those moments, going back to mental health, the only thing that got me out of it was my art and creation.
That's so beautiful. I feel like I've said that 35 times. I was like, that's so beautiful.
This is so beautiful.
Everything she does is beautiful. Stop.
No, stop it. We need to just,
take the microphones away. Put a drink in front of us.
No, literally.
Okay, this might be my last question.
Okay.
If you could talk to that depressed 18-year-old Bella and you could tell her one thing, what would be your one line? It can only be a sentence of like, I don't know if it's uplifting. Like, what would be the thing you would say? Only one like sentence.
Oh my gosh. You give me one sentence because we both have ADD.
Yeah, and we'll do like a paragraph. One sentence.
So, one sentence. Dig into your fears.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Why would you say that? I'll give you more than just a sentence.
You're like, wait, Bella, but that's really, really loose. Okay.
That's really deep, but wait, no, tell me why, like, why do you think she would need to hear that? Or why do you think that people need to hear that?
Because at the end of the day, they're not actually as scary as you think. They're just setting you up for the person you're meant to be and the path in life you're supposed to be on. They're literally paving the path to that version of yourself that you dream to be.
So you would say the fears are actually indicators of
your truth.
Go. Period. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Bella, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh, this was so much fun.
This is so fun. Come on every week.
Please, let's do it over and over and over.
Let's do it forever. And do you want to tell everyone where they can find you?
Yeah. At Bella DeNapoli on all platforms. And
go listen to her sing.
Go follow and look at my baby. I post about her like every second.
Bella's like, don't listen to me sing, but go look at the baby. Screw me.
Yeah, no.
Go look at Rory.
Me. Rory girl.
Rory girl. I still haven't met this baby and I'm dying to meet her.
You need to.
Like, dying. I need her.
You must.
I need her so bad. I want to just want to bite her. You know what I mean?
That's what I want to do. I want to pinch her cheeks and
want to eat her.
Hunt her across the room in the best way possible.
Yeah, in the way that where she won't get hurt.
Correct. Yeah, no.
Like she's
disclaimer,
fine.
she's fine.
Disclaimer, like she's not gonna get hurt.
And
but
she's
it's
gonna
just
love it.
And she's gonna be really excited, but I want to like literally chew her up and spit her out and eat her again. Like that's what I want to do.
They actually say like baby aggression isn't a thing. Like of where like you see them so cute that you just want to hug them and squeeze them like a teddy bear.
You want to kill them.
Yeah, like that.
That's like a thing.
We're literally gonna go on it.
I know, but that's literally a thing. In case anyone was wondering, like the cute aggression is like totally real.
Cute aggression.
It's totally
baby
real.
Aggression. Oh
baby
gosh.
aggression. It is cute aggression. Oh my god, it's freezing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. Oh my god.
Bye guys.
This was fun. Bye.